Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and to another book talk video. Today we are going to be discussing the Screwtape letters. So this was the new copy that we got at Barnes & Noble just recently in order to act as the main copy instead of the one that my mother used to read, which clearly she read to bits. I really like the feel of this one. It is one of Harper's signature books. The pages were left raw. The edges of the pages were left raw. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on camera. I'll give you an example of the typeface. The pages are very soft. I really liked how this felt in my hand. So if you haven't read the Screwtape letters yet, I'll just give you a brief synopsis. It's written as a collection of letters from the demon Screwtape to his nephew Wormwood, who is a junior tempter, and has been assigned to, quote, save, unquote, a wayward soul who has been corrupted by the church. And it goes into this back and forth between Screwtape and Wormwood. You never actually see any letters from Wormwood. Everything is from Screwtape. But because you are getting the reverse aspect of spirituality, everything is put in terms of something that's inverted. Virtue becomes perversion. Sin becomes virtue. And it goes into suggestions that Screwtape makes for even little things like getting on the man's nerves, manipulating him to focus more on what we would probably say now aesthetic of Christianity, using the young man's mother who he lives with at the time, the stress of World War II, the apparent faults or sometimes genuine faults of other Christians to make him feel like, well, they do this, but I don't, therefore I'm better than they are. They're not as devoted or devout as I am. They haven't really come to understand the true meaning of goodness, virtue, heaven, God, whatever. And also it goes into the reversed perspective of things like the young lady who the man begins to spend a lot of time with and who he starts to have some very strong feelings for, which was actually kind of funny because Screwtape wanted to get the young man to take interest in the type of women who he, Screwtape, would approve of. And instead, the young man ends up falling for a good Christian girl who's so pathetic and smells so bad that her stink reaches all the way to hell just from the pages that are written about her in the dossier. Because they have a dossier of both Christians and non-Christians. They have dossiers about everybody. So that was kind of kind of amusing. Also, I thought it was interesting how C.S. Lewis describes the entities as having, regardless of whether they're of a higher rank of demon or a lower rank, he describes them as having a hatred of music as well as silence, that they need everything to be constant noise. In other words, something that doesn't have any harmony, something that's completely meaningless. Because that's the only way that they can block out the sound of heaven, which is also silence, the stillness. They hate stillness. They hate the openness and, I guess you could say, purity of stillness, as well as the joy of and harmony of music. So it was, I suppose in a way you would probably expect this book to be depressing. Personally, I don't find it to be depressing. This was the first time that I read it all the way through. I had started to read our original copy a long time ago. I don't even remember when it was. And for some reason, I didn't get very far. But I recently read the new copy cover to cover. And I would describe it as a comedy of denial on the part of Screwtape. Because they're obsessed, both Screwtape and, everybody who is, at least in their opinion, running things in the underworld, are obsessed with trying to figure out what it is that the, quote, enemy, unquote, meaning in this case God, wants with humans, because he can't possibly love them. That's unthinkable. Like, there has to be an ulterior motive, because that's the only thing they understand. So they're seeing everything from the reversed and inverted perspective, and it doesn't allow them to comprehend the fact that actually, no, he's telling the truth. I would highly recommend this as a book that really anybody should read. It doesn't matter if you agree with everything in it or not, or take everything in it literally or not. You don't have to. I find it very interesting because of it's going to make you think. You don't have to be Christian or Catholic to enjoy a Christian or Catholic book. I mean, I don't actually identify myself as being stereotypically Christian anymore, haven't for a very long time. That doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it. I've never been Catholic either, but I can still enjoy a lot of Catholic books. C.S.Lewis, if I recall correctly, was Catholic. I know Tolkien was. I don't have a problem with that. I can take something from all of them, and just because maybe you're put off by the personal beliefs of a writer, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't get a lot out of what the writer expounds on, that you can't get a lot out of their work. I mean, if I agreed with everything that every single writer personally did or believed in, I wouldn't read a single book. I really don't think that I would, because there isn't anybody who's exactly like me. So this is the book talk video for the Screwtape letters. The next one will be on James Herriot's cat stories. I'm really looking forward to talking about that. So, hope you enjoyed this, that you check out the book, like the video, subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube things down here, wherever they are. Toodaloo.